So this is where the table currently stands at the moment. And what I'm going to do is just that. I'm going to predict what it's going to look like come the end of the season. So we'll start off with all the games in hand. So the way that works is if I go all the way to the top and I try and fill in all of those fixtures that don't have a result. So a lot of them do now. So they've played like these two games here. I think these were games that were not played. So what I'm going to do anyway is I'm going to fill in any game that's not got a result at the moment. So if we look through everything and try and find a game that doesn't have a result, we start off with Everton against Manchester City. Now, Everton, I think, are a team that are very good at home. Man City, obviously, currently in first place, but I think that Everton's home form is generally better than that. So I'm going to predict possibly a 2-1 win for Everton there. Burnley against Fulham. Fulham are hopeless. Burnley themselves, they're at Turf Moor. When they're at Turf Moor, what I predict normally is a 1-0 win, not 2-0, but a 1-0 win for Burnley. Aston Villa against Tottenham. My Malwarebytes scan is complete. Aston Villa versus Tottenham. I think Aston Villa will score 2, but Tottenham unfortunately will score 3. Leeds against Southampton. This is a game of North versus South. I think North always triumphs over South. I'm predicting a 2-0 win for Leeds. Match day 19, Aston Villa against Everton. You know what? I think Aston Villa, they've got the likes of Ollie Watkins and Jack Grealish. Who have Everton got? Richarlison. He's a good player. His finishing is poor. So that's why that's going to be a 2-0 win for Aston Villa. What else have we got in terms of games in hand? Possibly not anything. That means that every team has played 22 games, and we'll see what that does to the table. I don't think it does that much actually. It kind of just shifts a few people around. So we'll keep going. So as I said, we're going to predict all the way up to match day 38. Aston Villa, Arsenal. I think Aston Villa, they won at Emirates. I feel like it's only right they'll win at Villa Park, 2-1. Burnley against Brighton, that's a 1-0 win for Burnley. Burnley being at home, 1-0. West Ham against Fulham. West Ham are just a better team, 3-0. Leeds against Crystal Palace, again, North versus South. I think that's going to be a North over South, so that's 2-0. Liverpool, Man City. I think Liverpool are just a better side than Man City, so that's 3-0 for Liverpool. Man United, Everton. Again, Man United, I think, are better than Everton, so I would say 2-0 to Man United. Newcastle, Southampton. Newcastle have been poor, but Southampton have also been poor. This is a 5-game losing streak. They lost 9-0 to Man United, and they're going to lose not 9-0, but 8-0 to Newcastle. Newcastle just going to really turn up here. Sheffield United against Chelsea. Sheffield United are really going to try and turn up here. Chelsea have been good under Tuchel so far, but this is a 2-2 draw. Tottenham West Brom, this is easy for Tottenham, 3-0. Wolves against Leicester. I don't know. I'm going to say 3-2 to Leicester. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Leicester will edge it. Arsenal Leeds will be Leeds or Arsenal's. I'm not sure. If in doubt, we'll go for a draw, 0-0. Brighton Aston Villa, I think Villa will win that one 2-0. Chelsea Newcastle, I think that's going to be a 1-0 win for Chelsea. Palace Burnley, possibly 2-1 to Palace. Everton Fulham will be 3-0 to Everton. Leicester Liverpool, Liverpool will edge it 3-2. Man City Tottenham, I think Tottenham will win that 1-2-1. Southampton against Wolves, we're going to go for Wolves, 3-1. From Man United. Man United will win that 1-2-1. West Ham Sheffield, that's a 2-2 draw. In terms of the table, not much has changed. Man United have gone top, so we've still got Manchester Club at the top. Liverpool up to 3rd, Leicester down to 4th. Leeds have gone all the way up to the top 10. If we look at bottom half, they've things more or less as they are. Fulham, Sheffield, West Brom. Sheffield United have gone above West Brom, but the bottom three more or less the same as they were. So we'll keep going. Arsenal, Man City. Unfortunately, Man City generally do win against Arsenal, but in this instance, I think with what's his name? I can't remember his name now. Mikel Arteta against Pep. I think that Mikel, he's learned a lot from Pep. I think he's going to surprise Pep, and I think he's actually going to use Pep's tactics against him. I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. Villa Leicester. Leicester are going to win that 2-1. Brighton Palace 2-1 again. Burnley West Brom. Burnley are at home. I think Burnley will win that game 1-0. Fulham against Sheffield United. I think Fulham, I don't know. I think, again, it's South against North. The steel of Sheffield against Fulham. I think this is Sheffield's game. I think they're going to win that 2-0. Liverpool Everton. This is a Merseyside derby. Everton just don't beat Liverpool in Merseyside derbies, so that's going to be 2-0 to Liverpool. At Newcastle, unfortunately, Alan Shearer, I know you don't like Man United, but I'm afraid that your team is losing 2-0. Southampton against Chelsea. Chelsea winning that game 3-0. In fact, you know what? 5-0. Southampton just concede loads of goals. 6-0. Why not? Tottenham West Ham. I think that's going to be a 2-2 draw. Wolves against Leeds. I think Leeds are legit. I don't know though. Maybe Wolves. Having said that, Wolves did win the previous fixtures, so you know what? I'm gonna give it to Wolves. 3-2 to Wolves. Chelsea Man United. Um, Chelsea are at home. I think let's give it to Chelsea. I don't know. I don't want to jinx things. Let's give it to Chelsea though. Palace Fulham. I think Palace will win that one 3-1. Everton Southampton. Southampton on a 5-game losing streak, but I just can't see him beating Everton at home. Everton are good at home. 2-0. Leeds Villa, a draw, 0-0. It's a bit of a boring game, but it gets a result. Leicester against Arsenal. I kind of feel actually Arsenal were the only team to get the double over Leicester. Leicester lost 3 games in their title winning campaign, and 2 of those games were to Arsenal. Arsenal generally beat Leicester, so let's continue that form. 3-2 to Arsenal. Man City, West Ham. I think West Ham, they've got the grit, they've got the determination. I actually kind of think that West Ham will beat Man City. They've beaten Man City at the Etihad before. I kind of feel like they'll do it again. I'm going to say 2-0 to West Ham. Newcastle Wolves. I think Wolves will win that 2-1. Sheffield United Liverpool. I'd love to give it to Sheffield United. I really would, but no, Liverpool have got that one 3-1. Tottenham against Burnley. Tottenham have got that 2-0. And West Brom against Brighton. That's a 3-1 for Brighton. Villa against Wolves. It's 2-0 to... No, it's not actually. It's 2-1 to Villa. Brighton against Leicester. That's going to be Leicester's game. 2-0. Burnley Arsenal. You know what? Burnley are going to win that game. They're going to win it 1-0. Chelsea are going to get revenge over Everton. 3-0. Liverpool against Fulham, 5-0. Sorry, Fulham, but they're Liverpool, they're the champions. Man City, Man United. I think Manchester derbies, generally, Man United are better at Manchester derbies than Man City. Having said that, Man City try harder in Manchester derbies because Man City kind of think Man United are their rivals, but Man United are kind of like, we don't even know who you are. You're just noisy neighbours. We don't know who you are. So we'll be generous to Man City and we'll give them a draw. 2-2. Sheffield United against Southampton. I think Sheffield United will win that game. I really do. I really do. Southampton have just, it's just fallen to pot for them. I think that's going to be a 3-0 win. Billy Sharp's going to get a hat trick. Tottenham Palace. We'll give that one to Tottenham, 2-0. West Brom Newcastle. That's Newcastle's game, 3-0. West Ham against Leeds. That is, unfortunately, it's a 2-2 draw. So let's see what the table does. It's always interesting to look at the table. Leeds have gone to 11th. The bottom 3, that's the interesting part. Sheffield United up to 18th now. Brighton 17th. If we look at the top half, we've got Liverpool at the top, Man United in 2nd, Leicester in 3rd, Chelsea 4th, Tottenham 5th, City 6th, West Ham 7th, Villa 8th, Everton 9th, and Arsenal 10th. So very interesting there. So we'll keep going. Arsenal Tottenham North London derby. Generally in a North London derby, the home team wins. I'm going to say 2-1, but I think Tottenham will score first. Palace against West Brom. I don't think West Brom really have a chance against any of the Premier League teams. 3-0 to Palace. Everton against Burnley. Everton won that 2-0. Fulham Man City. I mean, Fulham just don't stand a chance against any team in the Premier League. So that's going to be a 2-0 win for Man City. Leeds against Chelsea. I'm going to give that one. Give that one to Chelsea 2-1. Paddy Bamford's going to score first, though. It's going to be a scary thing for Chelsea, but Leeds will lose that in the end. Leicester against Sheffield. That's going to be 2-1 to Leicester. Man United West Ham. That is Man United 3-1. Newcastle Villa. That's going to be 2-1 to Villa. Southampton against Brighton. We're gonna have to kind of give it to Southampton. You know, they've lost the last 5 games in the trot, so we're gonna have to kind of give Southampton something. It's a derby as well. It's like it's a southern derby. I mean, when you look down south, you don't really know where any of these places are because it's all southern and it's all just the south and posh and whatever. Wolves against Liverpool. That's a 3-2 to Liverpool. Right, Newcastle. It's going to be Newcastle's game 2-0. Burnley against Leicester. It's Burnley at home. I kind of feel like Burnley will win that 1-0. They're at home. Palace against Man United. I'm going to give that one to Man United. It's a replay of the FA Cup final, 2-1. Fulham against Leeds. Leeds are winning that 3-0. Liverpool Chelsea. I'd like to say Chelsea, but no. It's going to be Liverpool. Just 1-0 though. Man City against Wolves. I think Wolves have beaten Man City before. I think Wolves can beat them again. I'm going to say that's going to be a 3-1 win for Wolves. Sheffield United Villa. You know what? I know Sheffield United are in relegation zone, but they're trying to get some wins together. They've got 2 wins in the last 5 games. They're going to keep it together. They're going to keep going. They're going to win this game 2-1. Tottenham Southampton. Unfortunately, that's Tottenham's win 1-0. From in fact 3-0, 4-0. Why not? They lost 9-0 to Man United. They're just conceding loads of goals at the moment. There's a bit of a problem with the defence. West Brom Everton is Everton's game 2-0. And West Ham against Arsenal. West Ham will win that game 2-1. Matchday 30. Arsenal against Liverpool. Liverpool win that 2-1. Villa Fulham, that's 3-0 to Villa. Chelsea West Brom is 3-0 to Chelsea. Everton Palace is going to be 2-0 in Everton's favour. Leeds against Sheffield United. It's a Yorkshire derby. It's pretty much the only real game of the Premier League that's actually worth watching. I think Leeds will edge it, but it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be 3-2 to Leeds. Leicester Man City. Leicester already won the previous game. I think they're at home now, so I think this is. I can't see it going any way other than Leicester winning it 4-0. Man United against Brighton. It's going to be Man United's 2-0. Newcastle against Tottenham. That is going to be Tottenham's game 2-1. Southampton against Burnley. It's going to be Southampton's 2-1. And Wolves against West Ham. We're going to go for Wolves 2-1. So let's look at the table again. So if anything's really changed, Everton up to 6th now, Leeds up to 10th. In terms of the relegation half of the table, Sheffield United still in the relegation zone. Fulham and West Brom still. I think there's no hope really for Fulham West Brom. Fulham West Brom are just they're destined for the Championship. They are Championship teams. Fulham and West Brom are not Premier League sides, and they should not be in the Premier League. But anyway, we will see what happens at the end of the season. Brighton against Everton. I'm going to say Everton 2-1. Newcastle, Burnley at home. I think that's going to be a 1-0 win for Burnley, being that they are at home. Palace against Chelsea. I think Chelsea win that 3-0. Fulham against Wolves. I can only really see that going Wolves' way, so that's 2-1 to Wolves. Liverpool Villa. Well, Villa did beat Liverpool 7-2. I think Liverpool will kind of get their revenge on Villa, but it won't be as sweet a vengeance that they like it. I think it's just going to be something like 1-0. Man City against Leeds. So this game was a draw beforehand. I think Leeds learned a lot of lessons. I think Leeds will be more confident going into the game. And honestly, I can't really see Leeds not losing this game. I can't even see a draw. I think Leeds will win this game. I'm going to say 2-0 to Leeds. I think Leeds are going to be dominant in this game. Sheffield United against Arsenal. As much as I'd like to say Sheffield United, this is going to be Arsenal 2-1. Tottenham Man United. I think Tottenham 2-0. Jose rather, sorry, getting revenge against his former club. West Brom against Southampton. I mean, they're both pretty bad sides, but I think Southampton will win that game. And West Ham against Leicester. I'm going to go for. It's going to be Leicester, I'm afraid. 2-1 to Leicester. Jamie Vardy's going to have a party. Arsenal against Fulham is, Arsenal going to win that 4-0. Villa against Man City. Unfortunately, it's going to be City's 2-1. Chelsea Brighton. It's going to be Chelsea's 3-1. Everton Tottenham. It's going to go to to Tottenham 2-1. Leeds against Liverpool. As much as I'd like to say Leeds, I'd like Leeds to win this game, but unfortunately, it's going to go to Liverpool. That's going to be a 3-1 win for them. Leicester against West Brom. I mean, obviously Leicester 3-0. Man United against Burnley. I think Man United win that 3-1. Actually 3-0. Newcastle West Ham. I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle this time. Newcastle won the previous fixture. They're at home now. Maybe we'll have fans back. Who knows? Southampton against Palace. Palace on a 3-game losing run. So we'll give this to Palace. We'll say 2-1. Wolves against Sheffield United. Sheffield United on a 2-game losing run. Wolves on a 3-game win run. I mean, form isn't permanent. So we're going to give this one to Sheffield United. 3-1 to Sheffield United. It's going to be a bit of an upset. Arsenal against Everton. I don't think Everton have ever been Arsenal except for in the previous fixture, but Everton did beat them. Villa against West Brom. We'll give that game to Villa, 3-0. Fulham against Tottenham. I mean, honestly, will Fulham beat Tottenham? Of course they won't. Leeds against Man United. I'm going to give that a draw. That's going to be 1-1. Leicester against Palace. That's going to go to Leicester, 2-1. Liverpool against Newcastle. As much as we like Newcastle to win that game, and I'm sure Alan Shearer would like that win as well, unfortunately we've got to give it to Newcastle. Man City against Southampton. Well, in this fixture last year, Southampton won that game 1-0. I can't really see it going any other way than I think it's going to repeat of this fixture from last year. Southampton beat Man City 1-0 last year. I think they'll beat Man City 1-0 this year as well. Sheffield United against Brighton. Again, it's North versus South. North normally triumphs over South, but Brighton will get a goal, but Sheffield United will win that game 2-1. West Ham against Chelsea. That's going to be a 3-3 draw. It's going to be an exciting game, that. Wolves against Burnley. That's going to be 2-0 to Wolves. Let's have a look at the table anyway. West Brom have been relegated. Very interesting. So West Brom are relegated. Fulham still have a fighting chance. Sheffield United have escaped the relegation zone. Wow, that is some exciting news there. Let's look at the top half of the table and see where things stand there. So Liverpool at the top now of the table, which is interesting based on the fact that their form's been quite bad. Personally, I wouldn't really like to see Liverpool win the league again, but I mean that's kind of the way that things have gone. Chelsea up to 5th, but yeah, kind of where you'd expect the other teams to be. We've not got that many match days left. We've only got to 8:38, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more match days to go. Brighton against Leeds. I'm going to say Leeds. 2-0 to Leeds. You're going to want revenge over Brighton for beating them before at Ellen Road. Burnley against West Ham. I think this is going to be a solid 1-0 win for Burnley. Chelsea against Fulham. I mean, no, Fulham are not winning that game. Palace against Man City. I remember back in 2015, 2016, Palace beating City 2-0 at Selhurst Park, and I think that's going to happen again here. Everton against Aston Villa. I think Villa will win that. I think Villa are quite good against these Liverpool-based clubs. United against Liverpool. This was a draw beforehand. Man United won the FA Cup fixture. And you know what? Man United are going to beat Liverpool. Liverpool are a bit complacent. They've got 5 games on the bounce. They think, oh yeah, we've got this, but they've not got it. It's 2-1 to Man United. Newcastle against Arsenal. Newcastle are going to surprise Arsenal. It's going to be 2-0. Oh, I think we might surprise Arsenal today, said Alan Shearer. Southampton against Leicester. I think Leicester will win that game 2-1. Tottenham Sheffield United. That's going to be a draw, 0-0. And West Brom against Wolves. That's going to go to, well, West Brom. Is it West Brom that were relegated, or was it the other team? Yeah, it was West Brom that are relegated. Fulham are relegated now as well after that loss. West Brom already being relegated. You know, they've lost all their motivation and they're losing the game 2-0. I'm sorry, West Brom, but you were down and out. As are Fulham. Fulham have been relegated as well. It's now between, say, Brighton and Sheffield. Newcastle are fairly safe. It's more or less between those two to get relegated. In terms of winning the league or even getting Champions League, Chelsea and Tottenham. Chelsea just split on goal difference there. It's kind of exciting looking at the top end of the table. It's kind of a title race that we kind of look forward to. Man United just 3 points off Liverpool. This is exciting here as well. Will Man United win their first title since Fergie? Who knows? Will Leicester win the title again? Maybe Chelsea can. I mean, Chelsea, how many points are they off? They are 8 points off. It's kind of doable, but we don't know. Um, this kind of gives us better insight. But basically, these five teams can win the title. So it's between Liverpool, Man United, Leicester, Chelsea, and Tottenham. They're the teams that can win it. Liverpool and Man United are also guaranteed Europa League. In fact, let's give the Europa League to top six because it generally normally is the top six. The seventh place team gets this new competition, which is the shitter Europa League. Oh yeah, this video contains swearing, so if you're under 30, then you shouldn't watch this video. Right, anyway, let's keep going. We've only got a few more match days to predict. Arsenal, West Brom. West Brom are just, they've just given up at this point. 4-0 to Arsenal. Villa, Man United. Man United win that one 2-1. Fulham, Burnley. Fulham are actually going to get a win back here. I mean, they are relegated, but you know what? They're still in the Premier League. They're going to enjoy their time in the Premier League. They're going to get a win back 2-1. Leeds against Tottenham. I'd love to give it to Leeds, but I'm afraid that Jose's got it for Tottenham. Leicester against Newcastle. Leicester are playing for their lives. Newcastle are kind of fairly safe. So Newcastle, they get that one goal, but Leicester get three. Leicester win that game. Next game is Liverpool against their reserves. I think Liverpool generally will beat their reserve team. Southampton being Liverpool's reserve team, as all the Southampton players graduate to play for Liverpool. But they're not good enough to beat the first team, so that's 3-1 to Liverpool. Man City against Chelsea. I'm going to give that game to Chelsea. The Frank Lampard derby. Sheffield United against Crystal Palace. Sheffield United are really fighting for this, and I think you know what, they're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing. They've managed to escape the relegation zone, but they've got to keep fighting for it, and they keep fighting for it, and they got this game. Billy Sharp with the winning goal, 2-1. West Ham against Everton. This is West Ham's game, 2-1. Wolves against Brighton. This is Brighton have lost the last five, so I think the fact that Brighton did beat Liverpool, I think we've kind of got to give them a win. So it's a 2-0 win for Brighton. We've got just three more games to go. But in terms of the title race, it is very exciting, the title race. Man United still 3 points off Liverpool. I do really hope that maybe another team overtakes Liverpool at the top. I don't really want to see Liverpool win another title. In terms of the bottom half, again, Sheffield United are 2 points clear of Brighton, so it's really between those two. I don't know if Newcastle are safe. Are they? Are they not? Newcastle are not safe at the moment. It's only really Newcastle, Sheffield United, or Brighton that can get relegated. Fulham and West Brom are guaranteed relegation, but we'll see what happens next. So Brighton against West Ham. I'm going to give this game to. Let's give it to Brighton. Why not? 2-1 to Brighton. Burnley against Leeds. I'd like to give it to Leeds, but it's going to be a 1-0 one for Burnley. They're at home. So Burnley normally win 1-0 at home. Everton, Sheffield United. This is a bit of a setback for Sheffield United. It's a 2-0 win for Everton. Man United against Leicester. I think Man United generally beat Leicester, so that's a 2-1 win. West Brom, Liverpool. West Brom on a 5-game losing streak. Liverpool, the defending champions, they've got themselves back to the top of the league. What do? Well, they say, let's not slip now. And they do slip. They concede 2 goals to West Brom. They score 2 goals themselves, so they're doing okay. Chelsea against Arsenal. Chelsea generally do quite well against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. I'm going to say 3-1 to Chelsea. Newcastle, Man City. Unfortunately, Man City win that game 1-0. Alan Shearer doesn't really mind either way because he likes Man City. Southampton against Fulham. I don't know. Let's give it a draw, 2-2. Tottenham against Wolves. That's going to be Wolves. It's going to be a shock win for Wolves, 2-1. Palace against Villa, shock win for Villa, 2-1. Two more games to go. No relegation yet, apart from Sheffield or that. Top of the table, still very exciting. Liverpool just 1 point clear of Manchester United. So who is going to win the title? Can anyone else win the title? I think it's just those two that can win it. Oh no, Chelsea, Leicester, Tottenham can still win the title as well, although fairly unlikely. Chelsea and Tottenham would have to win by quite a lot of goals, which isn't really going to happen. So it's only really Liverpool, Man United, and Leicester in the title race. So anyway, we'll see from the final two games. In terms of doubles, have we got any doubles? Burnley got the double over Arsenal, which is exciting there. But yeah, a few doubles. West Brom haven't got the double over anyone, but they've had 9 doubles. So Arsenal, Villa, Palace, Everton, Leicester, Man United, Newcastle, Southampton, and Tottenham won the home game and the away game against them. Liverpool got the double over Leicester as well. Liverpool conceded a double to anyone. No, they haven't. Man City have conceded a double to Leicester and Tottenham. Exciting times. For those that don't know, anyway, double is where you lose the double is where you win the home game and the away game. Sheffield United and West Brom without any doubles. That could change. Brighton and Fulham also have no doubles as well. Burnley have the double over Arsenal. Exciting claim to fame there. We'll keep going. Home and away is what we want to look. Liverpool are the best home team. They've only lost 2 away games. Leicester are the best away team. They've only lost 3 away games. Brighton, Fulham, West Brom have been really bad at home, and Burnley have been really bad away from home. Burnley have been brilliant at home, the 4th best team at home, but really bad away from home. But that kind of makes sense. Burnley, generally a result for Burnley at Turf Moor is a 1-0 win. So I can understand that. I can understand why Burnley would be so good at home. So let's keep going. We've got 2 more fixtures left. Brighton against Man City. Man City generally win this game, so it's 2-1 to Man City, unfortunately. Burnley against Liverpool. You see, this is kind of going to decide the title race. I'm going to come back to that game. Chelsea against Leicester. I'm going to say that is going to be a draw, 2-2. Chelsea want their revenge, but they don't get it. Palace against Arsenal. That's going to be Arsenal's game, 2-1. Unfortunately, Everton against Wolves. 2-1 to Wolves. Oh, 3. Well, I pressed the 3 button. Let's just say 3 then. Man United against Fulham. 6-0. 6-1 rather. Sorry, Fulham get consolation. That's a very strong statement from Man United. Newcastle against Sheffield. Sheffield United are fighting for their lives here. 2-0. Southampton against Leeds. Leeds again. They just want to win. 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. Why not? Southampton conceded a lot of goals, but they scored one themselves, and it was in their own net and not an own goal this time. Tottenham against Villa, 2-1, and West Brom against West Ham, the West derby. West Brom are actually going to win a game for once, 2-1. Well done, West Brom. Burnley against Liverpool, it's going to be a 1-0 win for Burnley. So this has actually changed things in the title race. Man United have gone top of the table. Liverpool 2nd. Leicester 3rd. Chelsea 4th. Tottenham 5th. Villa 6th. City 7th. Everton 8th. Arsenal 9th. Leeds 10th. Relegation race, it's still on between Brighton and Sheffield United. One of them's going down, the other's staying up. That is the exciting part of it. But we'll find out, I suppose, when we go to the last game, match day 38. It's really between Man United and Liverpool. They're the only 2 teams that can win. Sheffield United and Brighton are the only 2 teams that can get relegated. Tottenham could still get Champions League. They could even get 2nd. But 4 of these 5 teams will make Champions League. Man United and Liverpool are guaranteed it. So we go to the final game of fixtures. And in the final game of fixtures, things tend to go a bit crazy. Arsenal against Brighton. That's going to be... Brighton are going to lose that game. They are. They are. They're going to lose it 2-1, but they're just going to score first, Brighton. Villa against Chelsea. John Terry against his former club. John Terry knows how Chelsea works. So, well, I mean, obviously, Dean Smith is the manager, but you know, they're going to get 2 goals, but Chelsea will get 3. Fulham against Newcastle. Fulham are just done for. Newcastle fighting for their lives. Newcastle do not want to get relegated. They win this game 6-0. Fulham, they resigned to a life in the Championship, whatever. Newcastle don't want to join them. Newcastle are like, no, we're not joining it. We're a Premier League side. We're going to stay in the Premier League. We want to stay in the Premier League. But they are guaranteed safety anyway, from what we've seen earlier. Leeds against West Brom. This is Leeds' game. First against second in the Championship last year, but Leeds and West Brom have been worlds apart in the Premier League. Leeds win this game very comfortably. Leicester against Tottenham. Leicester get the double over Tottenham. Liverpool Palace. Liverpool get the double over Palace, 2-1. Man City against Everton. Everton won the previous game. I see no reason why they won't win the other game, but we'll just go a draw to keep the plastics from rioting. Sheffield United against Burnley. I think Burnley just, they haven't been very good away from home. Sheffield United, I think they're fighting for their lives. They want to stay in the Premier League. If they win this game, they stay in the Premier League. You know what? Sheffield United won this game. They have stayed in the Premier League. West Ham against Southampton. This is West Ham's game. Very comfortable 4-1 win. If they've still got Jesse Lingard on loan, it's 5-1. Wolves against Man United. I do want to stress that I'm not a Man United fan before we kind of, oh wow, you've made Man United win. But Brighton, Fulham, West Brom have been relegated. Sheffield United have escaped relegation. Well done, Sheffield United. You've escaped relegation. It's all about how it works. At the moment, Liverpool are champions. We're at the full time whistle though. It might be the case that if Man United win the game, then they become champions as well. But they're against Wolves. It's 2-2. Liverpool are the champions on goal difference. Really, really sorry, Man United. You've missed out there. It was so close. You've kind of done a Liverpool where you've just missed out on winning the title. But there's always next season. Ollie's at the wheel. So Man United fans, please don't give up hope. It's really promising. 80 points. To be honest, 80 points isn't very good. So the fact that a team won the season with 80 points is a bit bad. But yeah, 80 points was enough for Liverpool to not only win their second Premier League title, but win it back to back. Man United also on 80 points, but their goal difference let them down, despite beating Southampton 9-0. If they'd beaten Southampton 14-0, then they would be champions themselves. But it was only 9 goals they scored against Southampton. So unfortunately for them, they've not quite won the game. Leicester managed to get third, and they're back in the Champions League. So well done, Leicester. I mean, you kind of deserve to be back in the Champions League. So well done to you guys. Chelsea up to fourth. I'm happy for Chelsea to get to fourth. Tottenham just missing out on the Champions League, but they've always got Europa League. Man City in Europa League. I mean, I feel like they will. I feel like the whole cast thing will get overturned, and they won't be allowed to take part in any form of European competition. So I feel like that place is going to go to Everton in 7th, and Aston Villa in 8th is going to get that place in the Europa Worst League, which is just kind of a league you don't want to play. Arsenal in 9th and Leeds in 10th. But in terms of the relegated clubs, Sheffield United have managed to survive. They are a Yorkshire team. They've got that Yorkshireness. We need Yorkshire clubs in the Premier League. Yorkshire is the home of football. We want Yorkshire teams in the Premier League, and I think Sheffield United will survive. I think it seems a very daunting task, but you've just seen how they've done it, how they've managed to survive. Sheffield United will survive. But yeah, disappointing for West Ham to finish the bottom half of the table, despite being so high up as they were. Wolves on 37 games. Maybe we've made a bit of a mistake. Are we missing a game from someone? Yeah, we've got a Tottenham Wolves game somewhere that we've not quite predicted. So I'm gonna have to go all the way up and find where Tottenham and Wolves are because that game's not happened yet. Maybe I've just got a result, an error in my Excel spreadsheet. But we'll have a look, see if we can find it. So yeah, sorry about this, everyone. Um, can't find it. Maybe it's just missing from the. Yeah, I feel like we've got a little bit of an error in the thing. It's not really affected the full score. We've got it's right there, isn't it? Um, Tottenham against Wolves. So it was Tottenham at home and Wolves away. I'm going to have a look for this, but yeah, really sorry everyone that we couldn't find this. I think it must be somewhere. It might be a game that's already happened or not happened. Um, yeah, I mean, I put this all together myself, and I was hoping it could kind of go error free. This is a very later game. Wolves and Tottenham played each other on the 27th of December, and it's a 1-1 draw. This was a game destined for the 12th of May, so I'll probably put it somewhere. And it's just the fact that it's not. So it's there, hasn't it? I predicted a 2-1 win for Wolves as well, so that's gonna help them up the table, really, isn't it? So maybe it'll work if I just kind of put it into the table like that. Maybe that'll work. I hope it does. It does work, yeah. I mean, it's a bit kind of low tech. Oh, why have Liverpool got the West Ham badge? Who knows? They're not. They're not. But it still keeps Tottenham in fifth place. I wonder what it does to Wolves. Actually, we'll see what that does to Wolves. It's not really changed much. It's kept Wolves in 12th. They're just a bit behind West Ham. They're equal on points, but they lose on goal difference, lose out. Interesting to see Wolves behind West Ham, but actually 12th is higher than they were currently in the league. Sheffield United, performing the great escape, and I'm glad as well. We need Yorkshire representation in the Premier League, and I'm going to end the video on that note. We need Yorkshire representation in the Premier League. I'm really pleased to see Leeds do as well as they did. Leeds in 10th, okay, top half of the table, and fairly deserved. Who knows, next season could do even better. But Yorkshire representation is needed in the Premier League.